The farmers in this country have been struggling bad. And it didn't start with the winter. It actually started last year when Trump kicked off his trade war. And then China dumped these farmers in America. And they are now buying their corn and soybeans from Brazil. And from that point on, it has gone downhill for the farmers in this country. But Trump also signed a bill to help them out financially, so it's not all bad for them. Farmers are casualties of Trump's trade war, agriculture secretary admits. So, when they were slipping, Trump told them to show patriotism. Nobody can show patriotism if they are losing money to the point where they can barely make it. I don't think that's what you should be looking for in people, because at that point they're in survivor mode. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue acknowledged that American farmers are casualties of Trump's trade war with China, according to an interview broadcast on Tuesday. Perdue told CNN that he did not expect a trade deal to be reached when Trump meets with Chinese President Xi Jinping this month at the G20 summit in Japan, but hopes one can be struck by the end of the year. China was so mad, they said they didn't even want to talk to the US at all. The Trump administration has designated aid for farmers a key contingency that helped him win the election in 2016, but they still have not been among the hardest hit from the trade dispute with China. Some of these farmers are so mad at Trump, they're already saying, they're disappointed. And some of them are even saying they probably won't even vote for him this time around. I don't know. I think they are one of the casualties with trade disruption. Yes, Perdue told CNN. We knew going in that when you flew the penalty flag on China, the retaliation, if it came, would be against the farmer. And it was. It was. They took a lot of revenue away from the farmers because, look, China bought all of their soybeans from the US. They didn't buy it from anyone else. So imagine if you have crops and crops of soybeans and corn, and now you can't get rid of it. I've told the president, and the president understands, you can't pay the bills with patriotism, Perdue told CNN. We know that, and certainly he knows that. That's why he's trying to supplement the damage they're having from the trade disruption with market facilitation. The Trump administration last month unveiled a $16 billion aid package for farmers to offset losses from the 10-month trade war with China. Payment rates to farmers would be determined by where they farm rather than what crops they grow. The trade dispute, which escalated this month after Washington and Beijing raised tariffs on imports of each other's goods, has left U.S. farmers sitting on record volumes of soybeans, with China halting purchases. China once was a designation for more than 60% of U.S. soybean exports. Not anymore, y'all. Not anymore. Okay, I have an RT News video that I'm going to have you listen to.
Tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese imports over what it sees as unfair trade practices. Beijing retaliated, slapping its own levy on hundreds of American agricultural products. Trump claims the US will not bear the cost of the dispute, but as Caleb Morgan explains, it's American farmers that are actually suffering.
One section of the U.S. economy is certainly on edge, and that is the agricultural sector. Farmers have long been upheld as almost sacred in Americana. From the writings of Thomas Jefferson idealizing the yeoman to the iconic speech of Paul Harvey delivered in 1978.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer.
Now, you would think that farmers would be a central focus of Trump's promise to make America great again. After all, it was the agricultural states like Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota where Trump won big. However, at this point, as the trade war with China continues, farmers aren't winning. They're hurting bad.
Is the American farmer the casualty in this trade war?
I think they are one of the casualties there of the trade disruption, yes.
But Trump says the farmers should just take it. After all, it's for their own good in the long term.
We're going to help out our farmers. We will ensure that our farmers get the relief they need, and very, very quickly. It's a good time to be a farmer.
This claim doesn't match the actual numbers. Look at soybeans, corn, and wheat production. At this point, the Midwestern heartland of the United States is already suffering from deindustrialization, and now it's seeing its agricultural base plummet. The income of American farmers has dropped to half of what it was in 2013, and the rate of debt of farmers has reached $427 billion, the highest it's been since the farm crisis of the 1980s. Farmers are also defaulting on their loans left and right, the highest rate that it has been in 7 years and 3 months.
A lot of us were forced to take loans to keep our businesses afloat, but yet some businesses were so far in debt that the banks wouldn't give them their operating loans for the year. The prices for grains and stuff have gone down significantly that we are unable to pay most of our bills and get the banks paid off to get our loans back in check with the banks that they don't threaten to shut us down. The moods in the agriculture community are very stressful. There's anger, there's everything else. Our planting window this year has been so long from the wet spring that we've had. Half the farmers don't even have all their crops they need to feed their animals or make the livelihood this year in the ground. It's very stressful and very irritating.
Now, farmers received a $16 billion subsidy in the hopes of making up for what they cannot sell to China. But it was only a drop in the bucket. The breadbasket at the center of the American economy seems to now be on the chopping block as Trump plays his art of the deal game with the second largest economy on earth. A lot of voices have to be asking how much longer. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.
Okay. So, a lot of the farmers feel that Trump has caused this whole situation for them. And they're not happy with him right now. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.